Julia is the creator behind GeoBreeze Travel. She is a points and miles strategist who creates step-by-step tutorials on the GeoBreeze YouTube channel and Instagram. Welcome to the show, Julia.
Hi.
I guess my question here is, are you at this point doing this all with points?
No, so a lot of people on the internet are like, oh, it's totally free. Well, maybe it's just like $5.60 or something like that. That is a common misconception on the internet that I've never paid for travel ever since discovering this, which is not how it works. Taxes and fees are still a thing. I still pay for excursions. I still pay for food. I still pay for all of those things. And for me personally, and a lot of other people on the internet, it's a business. It's my lifestyle. And so a lot of those cash flights can be business write-offs. Like, I just found a flight today where I have to fly to Miami for a business thing later next year. And I found a business class flight on JetBlue Mint, which is probably the best way to fly transcontinental from Las Vegas to Los Angeles to Miami. And it was $750 one way in JetBlue Mint, best business class across the US. So I just paid cash for it because it's going to be a business write-off anyway. But in this past year, I tallied up all of how much points we spent, how much we saved. I think we got about $100,000 worth of travel, and we spent $10,000 on because some of the flights are just small, cheap positioning flights. Like if we had to just pay for that flight from Las Vegas to Los Angeles or Las Vegas to New York, sometimes that's just paid. There's taxes and fees. There's things like that, but in general, I think it's pretty easy to get about 90% off when you're using points and miles.
Cool. And you said one of your most popular YouTube videos, and I think is applicable here, is how to quickly get status. Can you tell the listeners, or if you need to screen share, how you go about quickly getting status?
Sure. So I'm going to preface this by saying don't chase status just because other people on the internet have it. If you only take 1 or 2 vacations a year, it's probably not worth this much effort. But for people who are like, no, I travel pretty consistently, how do I get status? The key is to go for different promos, and it depends on what airline or hotel you're trying to get status with. So for example, I have Marriott Titanium status. Normally, you would need to stay with Marriott 75 nights in a year to get that status. I definitely did not stay that much. What I did instead, I have 2 Marriott credit cards, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant and the Marriott Bonvoy Business, and combined, I think those knock off about 40 of the required 75 nights. So I only need 35. But Marriott will also have these different promos throughout the year, where maybe if you stay 1 night, it counts for 2. They'll normally do this around January, February. So my husband and I will always just go down to Arizona, visit my mother-in-law and father-in-law because they've retired down there, just stay at a Marriott for a week. Those 7 nights are going to count for 14 nights. So suddenly I only need 20 nights left for the rest of the year. And so those are nights that we tend to pay for as well, but it's just a cheap Marriott in Arizona. So just by using a combination of credit cards and different Marriott promos, that's how I fast track Marriott. With Hyatt, they tend to have those different promos as well, where sometimes they might have stay 1 night, it counts for 2. Because if you want top tier status with Hyatt, like I have, which is called globalist status, it would normally take 60 nights. I think I actually did stay 60 nights at a Hyatt this year, but you don't have to in order to get status. Bilt had a promo where if you stayed 20 nights in 3 months, then you would just get globalist status through 2025, which is awesome. If you have the Hyatt credit card, the personal one will take 5 nights off of the requirement, so you only need to get 55 nights. Or the business credit card is also really good for business owners who have a lot of spend, because if you are putting, for every $10,000 you put on the card, it takes 5 nights off of the requirement. So if you're a business owner and you have $120,000 of expenses from inventory or shipping or ads or something, and you want Hyatt status, you could just put $120,000 on the card every year, and then that'll get you top tier globalist status, even if you've never stayed at a Hyatt before. With American Airlines, it's possible to buy status as well, just by putting spend on the card. I think worst case, it would be $200,000 in a calendar year, but nobody actually needs to spend that much. There's so many ways to earn more loyalty points through the American Airlines shopping portal or dining portal. And I had a promo that I signed up for to get my American Airlines status, where instead of needing to get 200,000 loyalty points in a year, they split it up. So I had to do like 60, and then the rest. So that made it a little bit easier to get executive platinum status with American Airlines. I don't have Southwest status, but a lot of people like to fast track the Southwest Companion Pass status just by getting a couple credit card sign-up bonuses and timing that either at the end of the calendar year or the beginning of the calendar year. So just by using some different promos and different credit cards, it's not too hard to fast track a lot of the statuses that are worth having. And the easiest one of all is if you want Hilton Diamond status, then all you need to do is get the Hilton Aspire card. You will automatically get top tier status. Same with Wyndham. If you get the Wyndham Business Earner card, suddenly you get Diamond status with Wyndham, which you can then status match over to Caesars and kick off a whole bunch of other status matching. So there's a lot of fun games to be played. I know all of that was confusing. So once again, if you're a beginner to points and miles and you're like, what just happened with all those words? geobreezetravel.com/free course will help you to get started.
I didn't find myself confused. My actually perked eyebrow was, once again, I'm fascinated by Vegas. So I feel like the wife and I could work in tandem here. I can go to Vegas. She can get this hotel status. So I'm definitely going to send this portion of the video, including this very sentence right here, to her so she could take notes as well. And like the listening audience, we have unfortunately reached the wrap. For a feature in a future video, drop a comment below and I will video reply, or hit the subscribe and follow button. Thanks for coming on the show, Julia. Please tell the viewers where they can learn more about you.
So I mostly hang out on Instagram, where my handle is geobreezetravel. I also have a YouTube and a podcast by the same name, and I have a newsletter every week where we will prepare different personalized tutorials for people. If you're like, hey, how do I get from San Francisco over to India on points? We handle all of that through the newsletter, so please subscribe to that as well.
How do they sign up for the newsletter?
Really by signing up for any of my things. They'll be automatically added to the mailing list. But if you sign up for that free course, that's probably the easiest way, just by going to geobreezetravel.com/free course.